Welcome to the Carolina Weather Group for this Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte, North Carolina. That is Frank Straight in Columbia, South Carolina. And the names scrolling at the bottom of your screen are some of our Carolina Weather Groupies who help support our show. Shout out to some of our newest members, Frank, who have joined us over recent weeks on Patreon and over on YouTube memberships, including Kim and Josh, Alex, Todd, and Kay Smith. So thanks for helping keep the lights on around here, and to all of our existing supporters, we appreciate you as well too. We're streaming live on this Wednesday night on YouTube and Facebook, and if you're watching us there right now, we'd love for you to join the conversation by leaving us a comment. Because, as the description says, Frank, there's no agenda, there's no guest, there's no script. We're just shooting the breeze talking Carolina weather tonight.
For once, we don't have a winter storm to deal with.
Correct. And you know what? I think that's some of it.
Despite the rumors.
I am just so tired from the last couple of weeks that I didn't even put a show together. And Frank has now hung up on me abruptly twice. This happened in the pre-show, and I kind of just knew that it was going to be one of those shows. Right, Frank? It's going to be one of those shows. You refreshed that pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's going to be
Did you forget to pay your internet bill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although, well, actually, no, but it's not due for another 4 days. So I should still be good.
Wesley Clark watching over on YouTube says, no more snow, please. No more snow. And Frank's going to walk us through the forecast. But let's talk about, as we're live right now on this Wednesday, it's the 11th, for anybody who's listening later for context, we've had two quite warm days here in Charlotte. We reached 70 degrees 2 days in a row. I had lunch over at the Charlotte Douglas Airport Overlook, which I suspect some of you weather weenies enjoy. And Frank, you guys got up pretty warm there in Columbia too, right?
Yeah, it was 76 yesterday here in Columbia. Actually, an interesting day. We started at 31. We ended up at 76. So we had a 45-degree diurnal range yesterday.
People watching can see me sipping tea because I think I'm on the verge of a cold. It might have something to do with the diurnal range because we were in a similar boat yesterday. We started in the 30s, went up to the 70s. It wasn't as bad today on Wednesday. I think we started around 50, maybe. We seem to be stepping down a little bit from these highs on Tuesday. Like we're losing like 5 to 10 degrees a day. So Thursday is going to be warmer than where we were, but it's not going to be as warm. And then we have a little rain on, is it Sunday, Frank?
Yes, and it may be more than a little bit, which is good.
We have a lot of rain.
Yeah, because we need some rain.
Yeah, but not on Valentine's Day. Saturday's looking all right, right?
That's right. Yeah, I think Saturday's going to be okay.
You want to walk us through your forecast and tell us what you got cooking?
Let's do that. Okay, well, let's...
While he screen shares, I'll just also mention, if the music's too loud, too soft, too distracting, just drop us a note. If you don't like the vibe, we can change it. We're really just hanging out with you tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully Restream won't drop out again on me. So here we go. There's a current satellite picture across the U.S. showing the little disturbance that brought a little bit of rain to parts of South Carolina. And I guess North Carolina got a couple shower here and there as well. Nothing major. I had a grand total of 1/100 of an inch at my house, so not a whole lot, though some spots did do a little better. Nothing drought busting for sure, but you can see this pinwheel swirling over California, and that is the next storm that we have to deal with. James, shift the map over toward California so they can see that pinwheel over there. Anyway, that's the next storm we have to deal with. This little spinny, swirly thing that's over California now. It's going to be coming our way over the next couple of days. It looks like we'll have nice weather for your Friday. It looks like we'll have nice weather. Friday being my birthday, by the way. Saturday looks pretty good too. That's Valentine's Day, by the way. And then Sunday is when this little pinwheel gets to our neck of the woods and brings some rain. So let's have a look at the computer model here. This is the Euro, because it's everybody's favorite model, because it tends to be a little better than the others. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right about everything. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you it'll be wrong about something. But anyway, we're under high pressure for the next few days. And then on Saturday night, a warm front lifts northward into the Carolinas and starts to generate some rain. There'll be a little bit of cold air damming, so western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina will likely be on the chilly side. at least for the first part of this storm. And then the storm moves through during the day Sunday with some rain and probably some thunderstorms, at least for the low country of South Carolina and probably the rest of the coastal plain too, and maybe getting up into North Carolina and up into Sam's neck of the woods of the Outer Banks. It wouldn't shock me if we even had a strong storm or two. This may turn out to be one of these low Cape High shear severe storm setups. So that's something we'll keep an eye on anyway. That's certainly not a guarantee that's going to happen, but it's something to watch for. But one thing that is looking very likely is that there will be no winter precipitation at all, for at least not for South Carolina, and probably not for North Carolina either. It looks like it's going to be too warm for that. That storm will be moving out Sunday night, and then it looks like we dry out Monday and have a few quiet days early next week, which probably start cool and end up warm, and then we'll have another chance of rain later next week or next weekend or something like that as another cold front moves in. So that is the forecast overview, James.
All right, we got a good question that came in during that from Wesley asking, are we in a drought? And the answer to that is yes, believe it or not, despite the ice.
Hey, I don't have to save this for too many tabs today.
Don't have to save it for too many tabs. It's a main headline here that, it's not the growing season, so it's like, I guess not as prominent, right? Like I'm not...
right, but we're getting toward the time that we want to get some moisture in the soil because farmers will be planting things before too long. And also, March is when we start to head into wildfire season around these here parts. So we really could use some rain, but as you can see, we are in a drought. Now, this is last week's drought monitor. This is, they compile this on Tuesday and release it Thursday. So they have the drought monitor. We need to move
our shows to Thursday just for the drought monitor.
Yeah, so anyway, this is sitting on someone's desk somewhere, this week's update, but hasn't been released yet. It'll be released Thursday morning. I strongly suspect that there will be an increase in the drought levels in South Carolina. I'm not so sure about North Carolina, which I could.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be
show you all North Carolina.
Here, I got it here.
Okay.
There it is. I was going to say, unless I'm being absent-minded, we didn't get a whole lot of rain in the past week, so these drought conditions are not going to get better; they're going to get worse. Most of Carolina's got severe drought.
Right, just about all of North and South Carolina are in drought conditions at this point, and the parts that are not are at least abnormally dry in that D0 category.
Yeah.
So it's real dry. We're in a drought, and we need some rain. And like I said, I think that the next update coming out tomorrow is going to look even slightly worse than what we're seeing right now from last week's report.
Frank, what's with all the talk of blizzards? Jane wants to know, as does Jeff, who, I mean, is this like one of the models had like a vision 300 days from now in the future, or like...
One of the models, actually it was the Euro, I guess, was showing a winter storm happening over parts of the Carolinas several days ago. And there were certain TV meteorologists, well, only one that I'm aware of, and I will not name any names. That person knows who that person is.
I think most of us know who that person is.
And that person did post something kind of sensationalist on social media, and that person is turning out to be wrong. There is looking very strongly like there will be no winter weather with this upcoming storm on Saturday. And also, it looks like the weather pattern will continue to not be all that favorable for winter storms going forward. Now, that being said, the computer models are showing that some cold air comes down in the last week of February, that we do get a decent cold snap. And some of the models have shown that a storm moves through while the cold air is in place. And if that happens, we could conceivably get some winter weather that way. A blizzard, I doubt. No, I don't think so. It's if we were to get any winter weather, it would be one of these foul hang kind of situations. If you're a fisherman, angler, you know what that means. It means where you hook a fish, but you don't hook it in the mouth. You hook it somewhere else. I've only seen that happen once. in my entire life. But
Interesting.
it's kind of analogous to that if we were to get a winter storm through the rest of February. That being said, there are some signs that we could see a more favorable pattern for a winter storm during the first part of March. So we'll keep an eye on that, but it's way too early to promise anything. And once you get to the end of February, it becomes really difficult to make a winter storm happen down here in the Carolinas. When it happens, it's often a doozy. But once you get to the 1st of March, it's always hard to make a winter storm happen in the Carolinas. Everything has to come together just right. But once you get to March, it gets really hard.
Is March the one that comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb?
Yes.
Okay.
End of February can be kind of lion-like too sometimes.
Yeah.
They think 2004. Remember that storm?
We're not out of the woods here. It feels like
I've seen snow happen as late as March 24th in South Carolina. I was 11 years old. We had a 10-inch snowstorm in Rock Hill.
What year?
83.
Okay. Because I know we're talking about some other years coming up. So Brian Watchin says about the drought conditions, we need to get those lakes filled up for boating seasons. I did notice that today. Here where I am, creeks and streams and things are certainly low.
Low stream flow is becoming a problem in South Carolina.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of been a problem. Today I had to take a trip to Hartsville to give a talk, and driving across the Wateree River, it's low. There's not a lot of water flowing through it right now.
Not a lot of water in the Wateree River?
Correct. The Wateree is not living up to its name, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a very watery
water
right
in my cup,
now.
though. Sorry about that. I was real close to the microphone just now. Jesse G, I think it's how you probably break that up. Jesse G, 9344 wants to know, Frank, what the winds are going to look like in particular on Sunday.
Winds on Sunday. I think it's going to be breezy. I don't think it's going to be extremely windy, but I do think it's
breezy like last Saturday breezy.
Not quite that breezy.
I don't know what it was like.
Kind of howling back on Saturday, wasn't it? No, I don't think it's going to be like that, but it is going to be moderately windy. Yes.
Yeah, we drove from Charlotte to Durham, and our car was blowing around on the interstate, and then there were thousands of people without power. And matter of fact, the folks we were going to visit got to their house, and they were like, "We don't have enough power." So we were like, "Cool, let's go someplace." But it was cold and windy.
Yes.
It was real cold. Okay, so we've had a nice storm, we've had a snowstorm, we've had whatever last Saturday was. Brad Panovich and Tim Buckley on their 6:30 p.m. streaming show. We're talking about this today, and I want to show it here too. This, Frank, comes to us from Purdue. This is the Midwest Regional
Climate Center.
That's right. So this is their accumulated winter season severity index. And I just really want to show it off here, but then I want to have a conversation. Matter of fact, actually, before I scroll down, for those of you watching in video form, you can kind of see what this is going to be. This is going to give us a professional database analysis on whether the winter so far has been mild, moderate, average, severe, or extreme. Before I scroll down, why don't you guys hit up the comments and let us know what you think on how this winter has been. Has it been mild, moderate, average, severe, or extreme? Tim did take to his Twitter, and he asked the same question, and it's got 566 votes. Frank, I have to click on one in order to see what their votes are left. He's only got 42 minutes left on his poll. Which one do you think it's been, Frank?
That's a good question, because I think about things like, when I was a kid, we got a lot more snow than we do now, and I don't have a recency bias because of that. If you only think of the last 25 to 30 years, then compared to that, it's been a severe winter, I think, compared to that.
So most people who took Tim's poll would agree. 45% say it's been severe. Now, he did ask about North Carolina, in fairness, but.
And I think North Carolina's has probably been even worse than South Carolina's, because y'all have had more snow, especially along and north of 40 than we've had down here. If you look in certain
spots, there's still snow out there.
Yeah, more snow events and more snow when it has snowed in both North and South Carolina. So, I think your winters probably has been that. But I would still say the winter in South Carolina has been severe relative to the last 30. Okay. If you go back to the 70s and 80s, I would probably say something closer to normal.
I see votes coming in for severe in our comments here tonight. I see another for moderate. So here's what the Midwest Climate Center has done for the whole country using their accumulated winter season severity model. And you can see, I've got Charlotte selected, so it's turning green. Okay, so on the map right now for podcast audio listeners, most of the central portions of North Carolina and South Carolina and the western portions are in severe by their characteristics. Then we have some extremes down by the coast. I think that's that snowstorm from a week or so ago. And then Raleigh comes in at average because they got robbed of the snow, is what it probably comes down to.
Yeah, but they were in a big time rip-off zone for that snowstorm last weekend.
So I'll click on Wilmington here because they're one of the extreme categories. And you can see it's got this handy dandy chart. And if I slide it over a little bit on the screen, you can actually see kind of how it shoots right up there towards the end of January and the beginning of February. And they've got a pretty good buffer by these analytics to make it into that severe category. Most of the other areas I looked at had a similar little curve, but like Charlotte didn't get as high. I mean, we didn't get as much snow as the coast did in that last go around. I mean, we got a lot of snow, right, comparatively to like what we normally get. Like 8 inches was a lot, but it wasn't 13 inches. So we're kind of in the upper portions of severe as opposed to the extreme that Wilmington had. You want me to pull up some other cities? Maybe something in South Carolina?
Let's see, Columbia.
Here's Columbia. See, Columbia's got you pretty similar to Charlotte. Thoughts?
Yeah, and to be honest, comparing what we've had in Columbia now, if you just want to consider the fact we've had 2 winter storms, the first one really wasn't all that significant around here. We did have a little bit of ice build up, but not a ton. Some of the roads did get a little icy, but mainly elevated roads with that first storm. But really, it wasn't all that bad around here. The second storm, it didn't quite live up to expectations, but we got generally 3 to 4 inches of snow around here. That's somewhere close to twice normal snowfall coming from one storm. But then again, that's Columbia for you. You go 2 or 3 years between snowstorms, and you get a 3 to 6 inch snowstorm.
That's Jay says he wants to change his answer to severe after getting nearly a foot of snow. So
yes, a foot of snow in Charlotte, even if it's just from one storm, that's more than twice normal snowfall for you.
It's quite memorable. There's Asheville, and it isn't severe, but it's just barely by this math out of the average and into severe. Now you might be asking yourself, James, what are they basing this on? And obviously it's their formula, not ours. But it says the severity of winter is related to the intensity and persistence of cold weather, the amount of snow, and the amount of persistence of snow on the ground. Which, if you still look in some of the darker, more shadowy locations, we've still got a couple mounds of snow here or there. In some places it is just about all gone now after 2 days in the 70s here in Charlotte, but some of those snowpacks are still there in some places.
Yeah, well, compare this to what happened back in 1988 from that storm, which also left about a foot of snow in Charlotte, the early January 88 snowstorm. It stayed cold for a long time after that storm. It was in the 30s and low 40s for about 10 days for the highs. And you could find snow piles in mall parking lots a month after that storm.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, this is a couple of days of a little warmth break we're getting here, and who knows if it's going to stay or not, right? But like, I just feel, other than the fact that I think I have a cold coming on, I just feel so much more human. I slept last night with the windows open a little bit, and I didn't wake up in the morning going from like the heat drying out my body, right? When the heat's cranking because it's 25 degrees outside, it really does a number on your body.
Yeah, it sure does. And I noticed today, because of all the recent dry spells we've had, that my skin was cracking a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I had to use hand lotion for the first time this winter. Today.
The first time? God.
Yeah.
I put this stuff on multiple times a day, and I'm still like sandpaper. I'm just noticing this. This probably doesn't come as too big of a surprise, but there's been another earthquake in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
This went down by Charleston, 9 o'clock tonight on this Wednesday. 2.6 is the preliminary, it appears. And this is just outside of Somerville. I think this makes the third since Saturday. Somebody in the comments may correct me if I'm wrong. It's fascinating. It's not Elgin, right? Elgin is where like that other cluster is closer to.
That's right. A couple of years ago, the cluster of earthquakes we had, which lasted for like a year. That was near Elgin, but these have all been in the Low Country. Yep. Looks like they've adjusted it down to 2.4.
2.4. All right. I mean, not nothing, but probably. I mean, I'll go to your screen. What's the shake map for a 2.4?
There it is.
I think it.
Now they're saying 2.5. Is it 2.4, 2.5, 2.6? Guys, make up your mind.
Make up your mind. Can you click on the Did you feel it?
Yeah.
Anybody submit anything?
Did you feel it?
Oh, I
have
think
168 felt reports on it so far.
Oh, there it goes.
So, yep, there it is. And
did you feel it at home? Let us know.
I did not feel it. Of course, I'm 100 miles away, but zooming in, it looks like it was only felt right around Somerville and North Charleston. I wonder if the Weather Service felt it in their office.
Good question.
I think the little cluster that you see there near the A in Charleston, I think that is very close to the airport. So that might well be the Weather Service.
I can go look at the Weather Service chat, which I'm apparently logged out of. So, that'll take me a minute.
Darn it, I am too. I'll have to look on my iPad. Hey, we have breaking news because of an earthquake that happened in South Carolina. Another one.
Yeah. These are happening quite frequently, it feels like. I don't know that there's necessarily any reason to be concerned, but I mean, I guess, hey, man, if I had 3 earthquakes a couple days in a row here in Charlotte, I'd be like, what's going on? What is this? Do I need to be worried? Are these 4 shocks? What are these?
I hope not.
I hope not, too. No, I don't see anything to chat.
Yeah, so anyway, there's nothing in the WS chat about it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Anyway, drop us a comment if anybody's watching from. I wonder if Jared didn't come running screaming, so there's that. I did a tab and then I did breaking news, so I think it's time for you to do a tab. We didn't actually roll the open for tabs. We just kind of started doing things, didn't we?
Yeah, we just kind of started doing tabs. This is a very relaxed.
Very relaxed
Carolina Weather Group.
Well, I got to roll the open. It's contractually obligated to roll the open, aren't I?
Oh, I didn't realize we were. Well, roll the open then.
Yeah, geez.
We're contractually obligated.
Don't want to get fined by the NFL or whoever.
Right. Where somewhere in here, I've got a tab of something I need to talk about. Oh yeah,
I mean, there you go. What's this thing? What is the tale of 2 storms, Debbie and Helene?
Okay, so we in the South Carolina State Climate Office created this story map thing. This is a product of ESRI, the people who make ArcGIS, the Geographical Information System software, and last year, after the 2024 storms, we put this story map together to explain to the world what happened in South Carolina with these 2 storms that both had a major impact on us in South Carolina. First, Debbie, which caused a ton of rain along South Carolina's coastal plain, and there was some serious flooding from it. There's a map from the Charleston National Weather Service office showing the extreme rainfall totals up to 22 inches over the August 4th to 9th of 2024 period. So obviously, if you're going to get that much rain, there's going to be a lot of flooding. Oh, there's the map that we did, showing where the heaviest rain was, not just in South Carolina, but in the river basins that drain into South Carolina.
Wow, there's your map. I had zoomed in on the Charleston map.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. The numbers were so tiny.
Obviously, with that, there was some serious flooding with Debbie in South Carolina, and we have a little chart in there to show that. And there were a few gauges in South Carolina that had a record peak. None of the major rivers did, but some of the rivers in South Carolina did have a record peak behind Debbie. Those that didn't, a lot of them have had one from the other major heavy rain events that we've had, from Florence in 2018, from Matthew in 2016, from the 2015 flood that had as a player in that Hurricane Joaquin. So we've had a lot of extreme rain events in South Carolina over the last 10 to 12 years, and that chart kind of bears that out. So we talked about Debbie and its impacts. We of course talked about Helene, which Helene kind of needs no introduction. But anyway, the story map allows us to put some cool graphics in the background and have text and imagery to describe what happened with an event. And I'm pleased to say that this morning the South Carolina State Library released their awards for notable South Carolina state documents, and this thing was one of the award winners. So yeah,
Woo.
golf clap.
Golf clap. It's a decently loud. I mean, there's just people sleeping in this house. Otherwise, it'd be a louder clap and a hoot and a holler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's actually one of two of those awards that was won by the South Carolina State Climatology Office this year. Our year-end review document, which I don't have handy, and I wish I did. And hats off to Melissa Griffin, our assistant state climatologist, because she did the lion's share of the work with that year-end review document. It also won a notable state document award. So we won, the South Carolina Climatology Office won 2 of those this year. And
Nice.
my boss is extremely happy about that.
I mean, bosses should be happy for awards, so I'm glad. You mentioned hats, and I was going to put the QR code on the screen for hats, but something really weird is happening, and I don't have the QR code for the hat. So,
oh no!
I'm gonna try to do it right now. Hats. Yeah. If
Anyway,
go ahead.
Speaking of QR codes and URLs, I am going to put this the URL to this story map into the chat.
That is a great idea.
On YouTube here in a minute. So that way everybody can go back and look at it. So anyway, yay for us. We won awards this year from the South Carolina State Library, and we're all giddy about it.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you. Oh, and as is Jesse. Claps from Jesse. There you go. So you said you're going to put that in the chat. People will be able to check it out. And if anybody wants a hat in order to take a hat off, there's a QR code on how you can get a Carolina Weather Group hat. We still have the beanies. I keep calling them beanies, but do beanies technically need to have the little pom-pom thing on top? These are more just knit hats. The knit hats are still on sale. It's going to be the point. Because
I just call them toboggan hats.
Oh, toboggan hats, huh? Somebody scanned our QR code. Thank you, somebody.
Yay!
This is our Carolina Weather Group merch store. You'll see that the hats are right there, those blue hats. Frank and I have them someplace. He might even have his reach. I do not. And it's flat fee shipping. So whether you buy 1 hat or 100 hats, it's the same cost. I don't
Please
expect
buy
anybody
100
to buy.
hats.
I don't expect anybody to buy.
Give them to your friends.
But I guess my point is you could get a hat and a shirt, and it would still be the same amount of shipping. So
do they have coffee mugs too?
No, not currently. This is our old logo. This is like a
that's
throwback
an old
mug.
one,
This
isn't
is
it?
our old logo. This is a Christmas gift from Mom going back several years. Shout out, Mom.
Moms are great, aren't they?
Yeah. Frank commented, "There's the URL for the story map, but I don't see the URL." What? Unless it's just a me thing. Who?
Why
knows?
why is it not showing up in there?
I don't know. While you work on that, I'm gonna
I see it in chat. I see where I put it in
well,
chat.
it must have went out to the real world and just didn't come into my little graphic builder thingy. So that's fine.
I see it on YouTube where I put it in there, but maybe it's not sure. I don't know.
NASA and SpaceX are targeting Friday at 5:15 a.m. for the launch of Crew 12 to the International Space Station. As you might remember, Crew 12 is the crew that comes after Crew 11. Crew 11 was the ones that came home early from the International Space Station due to a medical incident involving one of the astronauts. We don't know who, we don't know what, we don't know how, but Crew 12 is trying to get back up there as soon as we can to restore the NASA American side of the International Space Station. And so they're targeting a launch of Friday. It was going to be Wednesday, it was going to be Thursday, now it's Friday, and who knows, maybe it'll change again. But they were concerned initially about winds in the
Mhm.
downstream of the launch in case they had to abort. So that was a problem on the last 2
Yeah.
days because of the big swirly system that I think is behind you on the satellite map. Is that a current satellite map behind you? Sometimes you
No,
switch it
it is
out.
not.
No. Okay.
It is not. That's an old
No.
one.
Okay.
What I do have in my screen share is a look at the Euro forecast for Friday at that's 4 a.m. So right
5:15
before
a.m.
launch. Yep. So
Yeah.
Cape Canaveral looks fine around there. There's not going to be too much wind. You can see the lines of equal pressure. The isobars are spaced out considerably, so no worries for wind there. It looks like all the showers are going to be offshore, so nothing around the launch site. Plus, thumbs up for that. But downwind, the launches go kind of that way most of the time, and so the launch will go toward this area off the Carolina coast. And in this area, not only is there precipitation going on, you also see the isobars are packed a little closer together here. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of windy in this area, it looks like, and that may be a problem because if it's windy there, and if something were to happen, and the crew has to bail and ends up in the Atlantic in that area, it would be difficult to rescue them because it's going to be windy. And when you have strong winds over the ocean, you're going to have rough seas. And that's no bueno if you're trying to rescue somebody.
Yeah, we obviously don't want that scenario to happen. It is a contingency just in case. There is also a rocket launch happening on Thursday morning. A ULA rocket is going to go up in a 2-hour launch window starting at 3:30 a.m. So this is really for all of those of you who don't sleep. And that one might be visible in the eastern sky. You can see the map kind of here on the screen. So that one's slated. That's a ULA launch. And that might be visible again some point between 3:30 and 5:30 a.m. on Thursday morning, which is a mere couple hours from this broadcast here on Wednesday night. So 2 rocket launches this week, and then we're still anxiously awaiting further details on Artemis, NASA's return to lunar missions. They initially had some launch windows here in February. It was too cold to do the wet dress rehearsal. Then they did the wet dress rehearsal, and they found out they had fuel leaks. Anyway, they made repairs to the rocket on the pad, and waiting to find out, unless I missed it, when the next dress rehearsal is going to be, because they'll try to pressurize that rocket again and see if it holds on to the fuel this time, because the next launch windows will be in early March. So lots of space stuff happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have more tabs.
What else
there?
is happening right now?
Well, what isn't happening right now? The Olympics.
Snow is not happening right now.
Snow is not happening right now. Well, at least not here.
Not here, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's snowing somewhere out west. Under that
sure,
wheel
maybe,
in California,
probably.
it's probably snowing like crazy in the Sierra Nevada.
You would think. Maybe. I don't know. Olympics? Are you watching the Olympics?
No. I haven't had time to watch anything.
Because you're too busy making great podcasts like this one.
Correct.
And story maps. Great story maps. Award-winning story maps.
And PowerPoint presentations for GIS geeks who are in the Hartsville, South Carolina area.
You're not watching CNBC curling right now? Out of the corner of your eye? That's what I watched during the Super Bowl. I look forward to your angry comments. James, did you watch the Super Bowl? No. I watched curling on CNBC.
I didn't watch either one. I played pickleball.
This is the sentence. Did you watch the Super Bowl? No, I was too busy watching CNBC. Anyway, they have these really cool drones, and I don't know. I thought I had a picture of these drones. So like when they're skiing and they're coming down the slopes, there's like a drone that follows them, or they're coming down the luge, there's a drone that's following them. Really cool camera angles. As an audio guy, you probably very quickly pick up on drones are not quiet, so you can hear it.
Right.
Coming down.
And I imagine there's wind noise too. Yeah. Especially for events like the luge and bobsled. I mean, those things go like 80 miles an hour. So
so the drone
is going to be
the drone doesn't
constantly
seem to really be able to keep up at 80 miles an hour. Like it comes down the first part of the track and then disappears. But they're also using some cool camera technology inside the sporting events. This picture was taken by a BBC reporter who is showing us the person operating the Skycam at a figure skating, and they noted that they're using a PlayStation controller. So I quote tweeted it and said, and they said playing video games wouldn't get you anywhere. Got this person to the Olympics.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're saving princesses at the Olympics.
Maybe. I don't know. You gotta start somewhere, man. Saving princesses is maybe a great place to start.
Maybe.
Also, that's what you
don't
think
know
of
what
when we
skill
say
sets
video
are
games.
required to manage a camera and at the Olympics.
I don't know. All I know is if I showed you any of the video footage, we'd be instantly taken off YouTube. So I will not be doing that.
Right.
Want to see how fast a copyright strike comes in? Post Olympic footage to the social webs. Happy birthday goes out to the National Weather Service. Here we go. Director of National Weather Service posted on X. Please join me in celebrating the 156th birthday. You know, NWS is looking real good for 156. They may have had a little work done. The National Weather Service was created by a joint resolution of Congress on February 9th, 1870. And from a telegraph to issuing our first advisory from the cold yesterday. Oh, the cloud. Oh, I said cold, but that says cloud. Our public safety national security mission stands stronger, saves lives, property, and the economy, and humbled to lead the 24/7 team that goes above and beyond every day. So they issued their first advisory from the cloud. I don't know what that means. I mean, like, I know what the cloud is, but like, I don't know what does he mean when he says they issued they're moving their servers into the cloud?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm realizing now I really missed the opportunity for a pun. Like, the meteorologists are moving their servers to the clouds? Anyway. If you want to learn more about the history of the National Weather Service, which was the National Weather Bureau, we did a show a couple years ago back with Tom Nizzle. It's in our archive. You can check it out. He walks you through the creation of the Weather Bureau and eventually onto the National Weather Service. So that's good stuff. We have a question from Brian. Do you guys do ham radio too? It's a fun hobby for us electronics nerds.
It's something that I had thought about doing off and on over the years. I never have actually gotten involved in it, and I kind of wish I would have done that.
So I went and got my handy talkie here. So here's the thing, Brian. I have one. I have a license. Really bad about using it. That's more about me than the hobby. I should use it a whole lot more. I use my scanner almost every day. But you're right, it is a really fun hobby. And we've done some ham radio stuff here on the show, talking about spotter networks. But we also did one, you remember when I went to Kennedy Space Center and we tried to call the International Space Station on a ham, which is also a thing you can do. So, yeah. Jay liked my cloud joke. He even put a cloud emoji on it. Thanks, Jay. Jay's got my back. You have more tabs, Mr. Straight?
Oh, I have a lot of tabs.
I mean, I've seen your
I
browser.
know
You
the
always have
tab
tabs.
that we haven't, the thing we haven't talked about yet that we need to talk about.
That sounds like I'm going to get in trouble.
We've just passed our anniversary of the big one in South Carolina. And it was pretty big in North Carolina too, but for South Carolina, it's the granddaddy of them all. The snowstorm of February 9th to 11th, 1973, which left double-digit snowfall over a lot of South Carolina. Some places got over 20 inches, and one spot, Remini, South Carolina, in Clarendon County, got 2 feet, and that is the state record 24-hour snow for South Carolina.
I was going to say, you thought there was a lot of snow in that recent snowstorm. I don't think anybody got 24 inches. So,
right.
That takes the cake. I don't know that I've ever seen 24 inches of snow at once. I've seen...
And not only that, it was windy in this storm too, so there was a lot of blowing and drifting. As a matter of fact, I went and looked it up. At Florence Regional Airport, they met the criteria. They had visibility under a quarter mile in heavy snow for at least 3 hours, with frequent wind gusts of at least 35 miles an hour. So it was actually a blizzard for Florence, verifiably so. The
By
only
definition.
such instance of that I have been able to find in South Carolina's history.
I started reading comments and thinking about the answers to comments and totally left you hanging without a response. But did you say that's the only blizzard in South Carolina history?
The only one I've been able to find.
Huh.
It
You're pretty
may
good at
have
finding
happened
things.
at another time, but that's the only verifiable one that I've been able to find.
Yeah. It seems like James is not firing on all cylinders tonight. That's becoming apparent to James too. 24 inches of snow. That is incredible. I don't know. I wouldn't expect you to know this off the top of your head. What type of, what was the snow ratio? Like, is this was it a good packing snow? Was it a really soft snow? Because that snow we had just recently was really hard to sled on at first because it was like it was thick, but it was really soft. And now I'm wondering if it was this 24 inches of hard snow, or I guess not if it was blown around.
Well, there was a little bit of both actually. When the storm first started, it was kind of a wet snow, but as colder air moved in, the snow ratios went up. So it was thick, pasty snow on the bottom, and then dry, powdery snow on top of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. I mean, we had that really fluffy snow, and then when the temperature going down and it kind of froze. The next day, it was great. Brian's following up on talking about ham radio. He says it's fun when you get on HF. He's worked space satellites, but it's a very brief contact. Yeah, we tried International Space Station, and we missed them in the very brief window. He says during severe storms, summer skywarn nets take reports and forward them to the National Weather Service. This is very true. So we have seen those here on kind of the receiving end. When we're in severe weather coverage and we're in National Weather Service chat, we will see ham nets put in their reports. We'll see the Weather Service react to them. We use them on the stream. We use them on TV. And it's super helpful stuff to have eyes on the ground. Frank forgot to pay his internet bill for the third
back.
time. So
For the moment,
Guys,
anyway.
I keep trying to kick him out and he keeps coming back. I don't know what's happening.
That sounds like my entire life and both of my
I don't know
marriages.
what's going on. I'm not touching any of that. Also, an anniversary this week is, wow, it's really zoomed in. So, right before the pandemic, 6 years ago, the Carolinas got hit by a big tornado outbreak. We got some tornadoes here in the Charlotte area. I think there were some all over the state on February 6, 2020, if I recall correctly, Frank. But I'll tell you, we got some big ones here, and if my memory serves, this is probably the storm. So when I think about the start of the pandemic, there's all sorts of things that come to mind. But one of the things that comes to mind is there was a lot of storm debris, a lot of yard waste still piled up at the curb. And it's because when the pandemic started, the city of Charlotte kind of put a hold on non-prioritized things such as yard waste. They're like, we'll come get it soon. But because the storms had come rolling through and people were taking down trees and branches and all that stuff, there was just piles of it for the beginning of the pandemic. And it must be from February 6, 2020, unless there was another severe storm outbreak after that, which maybe there was, but either way, in case 2020 didn't have enough going on, right? Because we were going to go on this year to, amongst other things, run out of hurricane names and all sorts of other crazy things.
Yeah, 2020 was just a wild year.
It was a wild year. Yeah. So here's James with not really more hair. I was just as bald then as I suppose I am now. So that was a big tree. That's Matthews Elementary School. So it just barely missed the building, the tornado, but it took down a big tree on their playground. Somebody hand that man a coffee. And let's see, I think we've got other footage. Oh yeah, here's some trees that took down a fence. And I'm hoping there was a map somewhere in here. But we were just talking to Brian about ham radios, and I don't remember if it was my ham or my scanner, but I was trying to get to the TV station, and my weather radio in my car went off. Also, do you remember Periscope? RIP Periscope.
I remember
That's Periscope video.
Periscope and Vine. Vine was a lot of fun.
Vine,
I
you
hated
like
old
6-second
Twitter
vines?
discontinued that.
Yeah. So anyway, we have this back in our archive feed too. Yeah, big tornado up by Kannapolis. That's right. That started kind of right there at I-85 and went kind of like due east right along the Rowan-Cabarrus County line. And yeah, so we have this, and then we had video of a tornado. Where was this video shot? Let's see here. I barely remember yesterday. Never mind 2020. But there's Tim, and then there's some pictures. Here's at EF1 in Aiken County, South Carolina. Here's that. Okay, here's that tornado video that somebody must have sent us. Brandon Watkins. So yeah, you can see one of the several tornadoes in the Carolinas here on the ground. So we would go on to have another tornado outbreak in April of this year, if I recall correctly, because I remember working from home during the April tornado outbreak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, April 13th of 2020 was that bad one.
Yeah. And hey, if you find this, which we did post to our socials the other day, if you want to go back and watch it, it then goes into talking about the National Weather Service birthday. So there you go. It's kind of like a whole first week of February anniversary video for you. You can check that out. There's Tom Nizzle, the aforementioned Tom Nizzle. We also posted the 1973 episode that Frank did with Melissa.
Yep, Melissa and I did that together.
Yeah, so stuff you can find.
Speaking of things that happened in February, speaking of tornadoes that happened in February,
okay,
we're actually coming up on an anniversary of a tornado outbreak from a long time ago. In 1884, called the Enigma tornado outbreak, which was a really bad tornado outbreak in the southeastern states.
Why is it called the Enigma? Was it hard to decipher?
At least 50 tornadoes. There might have been more than 60.
That's a lot of tornadoes.
And there were a lot of significant tornadoes. There were something like 35 significant tornadoes, F2 or higher. Now, the estimated ratings are not official from that far back.
Yeah, what year was this again? What year did you say this was?
1884. It was February 19th and 20th of 1884. And South Carolina had 13, including a couple of really bad ones in Darlington. I have a map on my screen share.
I'm so sorry. I don't see your screen share in my defense.
Oh, that's right. Because
I wasn't looking for it, but it's also not there.
Well, it's not there because
you got kicked off a few minutes ago.
When I kicked off, it killed the screen share. So that means now I have to go and
But now I realize,
reshare
folks,
my
that was
screen
Frank
share.
stalling, hoping I was going to put the graphic on the screen, and I was just...
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Wow.
So, man, I cannot remember off the top of my head the name of the researcher who put this map together, but one of the early tornado researchers from the late 1800s drew this map showing the tracks of the Enigma outbreak tornadoes from late February of 1884.
I don't think this is going to do justice, but for audio listeners, it's a map of the southeast mid-Atlantic, and it kind of just looks like a cat came along and dragged its claws right across the region. All of these long, streaking, pretty parallel lines.
Right. Those are the approximate tracks of each of the tornadoes that
How would you
I want to
even
say his
get
last
this?
name was Farley. Don't remember
would
off
you
the
even
top of my head.
Get this data in 1884. You'd have to telegraph, letters, newspapers. How would you How would you know that there was a tornado in Raleigh if you're in Charlotte? I don't know who this guy was. I'm just making
Telegraph.
Wow.
So
fascinating stuff.
Right, and I'm sure there were a few photographs taken of the damage. Photography was somewhat primitive still in those days, but you could get some decent black and white photographs back then.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that is a lot of tornadoes in a single day.
Yeah,
it really gives you pause on the whole, Tornado Alley's moving towards the Carolina Alley. You look at that and you go, apparently the Carolina Alley's been here since at least 1884.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about earthquakes earlier. Charleston had their big earthquake in 1886.
86.
Right. Quite the decade. All right.
Yeah, it is estimated that the magnitude was 7.1 on that. If an
Yeah, that's
earthquake
probably-
of that magnitude happened in California, it would be a top 10. Just to give you an idea of how serious that earthquake in Charleston was.
Yeah. Yikes. Yikes indeed. I've already promoted too many past episodes. We do have several fascinating conversations about earthquakes in the Carolinas with Dr. Stephen Jamay of the University of Charleston, College of Charleston, excuse me. And then we have Dr. Wendy Bowen, who's out in California, who does a great explanation of Carolina earthquake threat.
Yeah, we had her on during the earthquake swarm in Elgin a couple years ago. So.
Yeah. And I remember being fascinated to learn. She's like, no, Carolina is earthquake country. Like, absolutely. Absolutely.
We don't get as many earthquakes as California. They're not as intense as California, but we do get them.
Yeah.
And we've known to have intense hurricanes. Earthquakes.
I have two more tabs that are not very weather related. So first I'm going to take a weather related question from the queue, Frank. Brian asked a little earlier, any predictions for what the spring will look like this year? Warmer than normal, colder, average, etc., etc., etc. So spring, let's see, January, February, March. Is that like April, May, June? If I pull up the April, May, June. Here we go. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Can we argue that April, May, June is proper spring? Seasonal look. Have I gone too far into the future?
March, April, May would be meteorological spring.
March, April, May. Here it is. So, Brian, to answer your question, NOAA is saying that North and South Carolina has a probability, the chance, a 40 to 50% chance of being above seasonal norms. And seasonal norms will vary depending on where you are, but either way, we were 40 to 50, flip a coin that will be above it. How does Frank Strait feel about that?
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. Seems plausible.
Nothing to argue about. When I've taken a peek at the CFS and other long range models, and they all look warm in the southeast for March, April, and May. Looks like we're going to have near to below average rainfall, which is not great. We would like to get some rain, but it looks like there's not going to be much forthcoming.
We had a small brush fire along the interstate here yesterday.
I noticed there was a grass fire in the median on I-20 going toward Hartsville today.
Oh, today? Okay.
It didn't happen today. And I saw evidence that one had happened because everything was black and a patch about 60 or 70 yards long and covering most of the median in that area.
Please be careful if you're going to have a campfire or barbecue or anything like that outside, because it is way drier than it might.
I have some wood debris that I need to burn in my backyard, and I've been putting it off because it's been so dry. I've been hoping to catch a rainy day. I've got a tarp over all the stuff that needs to be burned in the pit back there, and it's been sitting there for 2 months because it's been too dry to burn it.
Well, thank you for being responsible.
Well, I try.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm irresponsible, but trying to be a good guy and a good neighbor.
Like a good neighbor. Frank is there. My last two tabs, not weather related at all. So do we have any other weather business before I show these completely random things that I learned this week that I just wanted to share? Okay. Do you remember, this story was new to me. 20 years ago, ESPN and NBC did a trade. And in that trade, ESPN released Al Michaels to go to NBC. Do you remember what NBC traded back in exchange for Al Michaels?
What NBC gave to ESPN?
More specifically, ESPN's parent company.
Oh, Disney. Well, yeah, Disney owns ESPN, so... Yeah. Was it Mickey Mouse?
It was the predecessor to Mickey Mouse, which through years of corporate consolidation the rights to Lucky Rabbit were with NBC's parent, Universal, because when Lucky Rabbit, the predecessor to Mickey Mouse, was created, Disney gave it to Universal to distribute. Distribute. So 20 years ago, they traded Lucky Rabbit back to Disney in exchange for Al Michaels. It's like, what? Like,
Wonder how Al Michaels felt being traded for a cartoon character.
For a cartoon rabbit. It's like, I did not know this story. And now you guys all know it. This is a post from ESPN's vice president of PR who put it out. I thought that was just fascinating. My last. Well, this is my last tap. For audio podcast listeners, we are looking at a video of, I believe it's a man, on a unicycle in Colorado who is juggling fire.
And he looks like he's dressed like Mario, isn't he?
Oh, and I forgot. I guess I should say he's in a crosswalk on a road with cars sitting at a stop line, presumably for a red light.
So what's weirder, this or Britney Spears dancing with knives? We should do a Twitter poll.
I don't know. Could you just imagine being at a red light and this is what? There you go.
That depends on whether he's still there when the light turns green.
No, he
I wouldn't care much for it if he were there when the light turns green. I would be, get the bleep out of my way. I want to go home. I don't care about your unicycle and your juggling. Get out of the way.
So. There you go. I hope.
Of course, if this were in Colombia, it'd be like, okay, get out of my way so I can do 60 miles an hour to the next red light 150 yards away.
Yeah. Jay says Commerce City, Colorado, more like Circus City. So there you have it. That's all I got for this very casual edition of Carolina Weather Group.
It's been an hour. Roll the outro.
Just like that. Not even say goodbye. Just roll it. Spring's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Be like my grandmother back in the 90s, as she was starting to kind of fade with age, and she developed a habit of where she would just suddenly say bye and hang up the phone when you're talking to her on the phone. It's like
she's like, I don't need to put up with this anymore. This conversation's going nowhere. I feel like I have a lot of people who want to do that to me when I'm on the phone. We'll roll the credits here, and for those of you who have a 3-day weekend for President's Day, hope you enjoy. Lovely Valentine's Day on Saturday. A little rain.
I have a
on
4-day weekend because Friday's my birthday.
I'm gonna hang up on Frank now. Bye, Frank. Happy birthday, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're gonna send you a hat. All right. The credits are missing.
Oh no.
You know how you got hung up on multiple times during the show? Apparently there are goblins in the system. The most important part of the credits is the names of you in our credits at home and abroad who support the Carolina Weather Group on Patreon and YouTube memberships. You don't need to see our names. We're not important. You are. So there are all your names. So there's Justin and look, even Sam's down there. Sam's on this show and he pays to support the show. Like most people probably want to get paid to do a show. He's paying to do the show. Like what? How does that work?
To pay the bills.
He's helping to pay the bills. I think we also support his Patreon. I think we're just literally just sending money back and forth. Anyway, we don't have an outro to roll, but
James will beatbox the closing theme.
Doom, 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 doom.